this for you. I don't want you to hurt, so I'll give you this hope.
Hey guys, welcome to Freedom Friday. I'm Darienne from DariaWaken.com, and today I want to talk about why you should embrace your depressive episodes. Sounds a little crazy. This is coming from a girl who struggled with depression for at least 13 years. And I was diagnosed 16 years ago now. And it's been quite a struggle. And I'm going to tell you how I learned to stop struggling with depression and really embrace it and change my perspective on it. And this is really for people. You don't have to necessarily have been diagnosed with depression. A lot of people, millions in fact, go with undiagnosed depression. And you know, many of us have bouts of depression. We have moments where we're crying for no reason, or just moments of deep, deep sadness. Sometimes it comes through, you know, explosive episodes, manic episodes and things like that. And then other times it can come in just a lingering sadness. You know, like I said, I was diagnosed with depression, so it's a little bit more than just being sad and having a moment of sadness. And what happens with these moments is that we start to get really upset about them. We start to think that there's something wrong with us. And really, in my opinion, the mental health system has really taught us that to feel a deep, lingering sadness, which really is probably coming from a long, long time of suppressed emotions, and it's just a natural reaction, a human reaction. What the mental health system in our Western society does is diagnose that as an illness. So what I've learned to do is, though I don't consider myself to have a mental illness anymore, I was diagnosed with depression 16 years ago, but I don't carry that label with me. I don't look at what I have or the experiences that I go through as a mental illness, because I really believe that what caused the mental illness was believing that there was something wrong with me. Nowadays, what happens is I become, you know, I may become sad, or I may be picking up on someone else's energy that's been, you know, cooped up within them, and they haven't had a chance to express it. And a lot of times, because I'm feeling that energy, I'll start to express it, and I'll start to cry for no reason. And a lot of people with depression cry for no reason. We talked in the prior weeks about being an empath. So that's a lot of the times why I'll just start crying for no reason. And then sometimes something will happen, and my body and my emotional, energetic body needs to go through the shock and emotion of what just happened. I have to mourn the loss of the prior moment that I'm saying goodbye to. You know, this is a natural thing. So nowadays what will happen is, if I'm sad, or if I just feel like laying in bed and being depressed for a couple hours, or even an entire day or 2 days, my friends will kind of say, well, what's wrong? And they'll try to make me feel better. And nowadays I just say, you know, I'm depressed. I'm deeply sad right now, or I'm really upset, and I just am okay with that. I'm okay. So I've really learned to embrace my sort of, I guess, what the mental health system would call a depressive episode. It's natural. It's natural to have moments of sadness and bouts of depression, because that's what being human is. It's a natural progression. Now, there are times, and I understand if you could argue that there are people that have these depressive, not just episodes, but they're just living a life of depression. Well, really, what helped me sort of cure, if you could say, my depression is to accept it. Because what would cause more depression for me would be the inability to accept that I was depressed, that I couldn't just be happy all the time. Well, that's not part of being human. And I really believe that the Western medicine has taught us that it's not normal to be sad for a long time, or that we're supposed to mourn in a certain way, or that it's acceptable and it's not acceptable to emote in certain circumstances. Let's say a professional setting, it's not appropriate to have emotions or show emotions. So really the key here is to embrace it. It's just to say, okay, here's depression. Hello, depression. Allow it in. Allow this moment of, you know what? I just want to cry my eyes out, or I just want to feel down about something because something happened, or because I don't know why. I just feel like doing it, and you just want to be the observer, as we talk about many, many times, and just watch it. Don't buy into it. Don't become the one that's depressed. Watch the one that's depressed. Okay, this is depression. This is a moment of depression. I know this. And I'm just going to watch it and let it be. I'm not going to try to make it something it's not. And I'm just going to follow it. And it's important to watch it too, because when we become the depression and we feed into, oh, I am this depression, dangerous things can happen. That's when we start to go into our heads and get stuck there, and we have suicidal thoughts, or we ruminate on things and the whole world becomes negative. And it's really important to try to kind of not try to, but just step outside of it and go, okay, what's this depression? Okay, I'm thinking this. I'm noticing that I'm thinking this. I'm noticing that, okay, how did I get here? Okay, this is how I got here. And just accept it. That's the most important thing. If you've ever been diagnosed with anything, or not diagnosed, just having moments or bouts of depression, this works with even anxiety, having cravings, if you're addicted to something, not to embrace the craving. You want to embrace the craving, not actually act on it. Just embrace the feeling and watch it. And just try to sink deeply into it. And what you'll notice, and what we've talked about in the past, is when you really sink into it and you embrace an emotion like that, what happens is it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it starts to dissipate. And little by little, and then remind yourself that script from the Bible, this too shall pass. And you know that, okay, I'm depressed right now, but I've had moments of happiness, and they come and go as well. And that's okay. And this moment will come and go. And what happens is you start to really experience grace in your little moments of depression. And you just become okay with it. You become at peace with it. So what I was just telling someone, actually, that I was speaking to about this, is that you cannot escape depression. You cannot escape being sad and having moments of sadness and moments of depression and moments of anger and anxiety and things like that. You cannot necessarily escape that unless you just aren't human anymore. You can't escape that. What you can escape is the label that we place upon lingering sadness as an illness. You can remove yourself from that label and say, I don't have an illness, I'm just human. And I'm depressed right now. And a lot of times, a depression will come from, in my case, in a lot of cases, depression will come from years of suppressed emotions. It's simply your body and your emotional body telling you that there are some things that you haven't dealt with yet. And now we just want to cry it out. You may not know why you want to cry, you just do it. And just allow it to be. If you feel like crying, just cry. If you feel like being angry, of course we want to try to channel that anger in a safe way. But don't really try to react to it. Just kind of be with it. Be with the feeling, be with the emotion, and allow your body to go through that process. So that is why you should embrace your depressive episodes. I hope this helped you this week. And if you know anybody dealing with depression, please share it with them. And I encourage you to email me. You can go to diarrheaawakened.com and just contact me right through there if you have any questions about depression, or if you just need somebody to talk to, because I completely understand. Feel free to email me. Other than that, join the inspiration conversation and tell us all about your experience with embracing your depressive episodes or your humanness. You know? Let's just get together and make everybody feel comfortable with being human, feel comfortable with emotions, because we've been taught for so long that we can't feel comfortable with them, that they're not right, that it's not right to be human, which is completely insane and it is completely of the ego. And when you step outside of it and you look at it that way, you realize how crazy we just all are, not accepting the label of crazy we've given ourselves. It just makes no sense. So please join the inspiration conversation and share this with anyone you know that is going through depression or really suffering through depression and can't accept those moments of depression and can't accept themselves as an emotional being, which is part of what we are as a human being. I mean, the truth is we are the soul beneath that, the soul that is housed within this body for this time period. But right now, during this time, while we're alive, we're a human. And let's just embrace that and be okay with it. There it is. Check me out on social media at Diarrhea Awakened on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.com/DiarrheaAwakened. And I'll see you guys next week.
So